What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about the roller coaster that we live in, and that is the stock market. More specifically, what the hell is happening to Lucid. I'm going to go over some of the data points, give you a summary of everything, as well as a summary from the two conferences that did occur. So Deutsch yesterday and 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗘𝗘𝗖𝗧 today. So I'm going to go over everything that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off, Lucid is down 0.38%. So given the market and how it opened, I don't think anyone planned how this would go down, because looking at CPI for face value, it was relatively good. Year over year, 3.3, forecast was 3.4, month over month came in flat, 0.1 was the forecast. So again, the market rallied because of looking at this for face value. And I did do a pre-market video under my other channel, Trending Stocks, and I even did say, just tentatively looking at it, more specifically the month over month, it's not necessarily the best, because you do see the energy basket going down, and that does insinuate that other basket items went up. And more specifically, shelter, you do see shelter continuously increasing over this last year. Every single month, and plus when it comes down to medical, even insurance, so it's still showing a lot of signs of red flags, and of course a lot of those could directly affect consumers, and so that's what caused it to go down a little bit. So even though, yes, I think CPI is moving in the right direction, it's still not where it needs to be. And unfortunately, Powell kind of reiterated that during his speech near the tail end, so there was no interest rate cut nor any hike, but he did say the exact same thing. So dependent on the data, they might actually keep it higher for longer. Couldn't give any definitive dates, and you know what that does to the market, right? Anytime there's grayness, market sells off. So Lucid is just getting hit somewhat unjustifiably, in my opinion. So again, it's down 0.38%, and big money is not really buying the Lucid dip, because right now 15.4 million shares have been traded, 24.5 is the average. These are some of the transactions that have occurred on the secondary market above $100,000. So 6 for today, 2 of which were buys, and then 3 or 4 sells. 3 of them were associated to what Powell recently said. So Powell's causing a little bit more of a tentative sell-off. So not the best news. When it comes down to Lucid specific, no news, no SEC filing. So they did participate in these 2 things. So the Deutsche Bank Global Auto Industry Conference, and today was the 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 ISA Global Clean Energy and Transitions Summit. So I did live stream both, so you guys can always pay attention or just kind of pop over there. And I actually am making a new YouTube channel. It's not me talking or anything like that, but rather me replaying fireside chats as well as earnings, just in case people don't have access to that. So if you're interested, I can definitely share that with you. But needless to say, I was more of a fan of the Deutsche Bank Global Auto Industry Conference, and it wasn't even to do with Peter's speech, because obviously both of them, he had his typical rants that I think a lot of us was kind of anticipating. But during the Deutsch one, during the Q&A more specifically, he kind of went off topic and started to talk on gravity. And I think this is where, in my opinion, I got a lot out of. So a couple of things just to highlight from the summary of that one. He did say by 2030, they want 1,000 vehicles every single year of just alone that mid-size SUV that's coming out late 2026. So logically, that does mean expansion, right? Because currently capacity for AMP1 is 90,000. Once phase 3 is done, I believe that's around 150. AMP2, the capacity is going to be 150. So if you kind of add the basic math, like maths don't math, or whatever that saying is, the math isn't mathing or something like that. So logically, there needs to be a third facility. So again, kind of shows expansion. Maybe it's China related or something else, but nonetheless, it does kind of signal that there's expansion. When he did say that he had big news, I think the market was disappointed. They were expecting Hyundai, and spoiler alert, kind of didn't say anything about Hyundai. So that was a little bit more of a negative. But on a plus, they did say that they hit that goal of 5, I think was it 5 miles per kilowatt hour. So big industry accomplishment. And starting actually in the next 2 weeks, I believe they said, or within the next couple weeks, they have actually started, he approved a program to move to 6 miles per kilowatt hour. So I think that's good. So Lucid is innovating technology behind the scenes. So they're trying to beat their own records. And honestly, that is absolutely amazing. But one big thing for myself, I was focused on the gravity. So they said that they did accomplish 80. So they've built 80 prototypes up to right now, and they are currently being tested. End of summer, that's when they're going to be doing crash tests and getting homologation. So logically, that puts it around pretty much, I would say, if I'm a betting individual, probably October or November as full launch. So probably Gravity reservations might open up 1 month prior to that. And I'll kind of talk a little bit about that maybe in a separate video on why it might be only 1 month before, or it might be at the exact same time. But needless to say, definitely very good stuff. But he actually did give a little bit more context about the Gravity, because he did say starting this week, I believe he actually stated yesterday, that they are starting to build the battery packs for the Gravity. So at least that's going to be ready. Paint shop, he said, I think is primarily ready. Everything for the most part is ready and it's good to go. They just need the homologation, the crash testing, and everything. So I honestly got the good feeling about the Gravity. So it is going to be on time. I know Lucid historically on a lot of things kind of misses and is late, but I think that he does know that the Gravity is a very big priority. So if you are going to re-listen to anything, I would say the Deutsche Bank one, and that would be more near the tail end, just the Q&A. So that's kind of a quick summary for that. 𝗪𝗓𝗡. So 𝗪𝗓𝗡, yes, he talked very much about the technology aspect and what they're doing for the future. In my opinion, I didn't really get that much out of the 𝗪𝗓𝗡 one. If you're more, as what Peter even said, geeky, then yeah, listen to the 𝗪𝗓𝗡 one, because he talks all about technology and how that is going to be very good for Earth, for I guess humanity and everything going forward. So yeah, I think that's a good thing. One positive that I really saw from 𝗪𝗓𝗡, or heard from 𝗪𝗓𝗡, is that Peter said that they acknowledge that the ramping up isn't where it needs to be right now, but that is a plan. And this is where he did say as well in the 𝗪𝗓𝗡 one about that 1 million target of just that midsize SUV. He did say by early 2030. So in the Deutsch one, he said by 2030. In the 𝗪𝗓𝗡, he did say by early 2030. So maybe 2031, 32, or something like that. But like I said, I think the 𝗪𝗓𝗡 one was more just tech related. I was really hoping that they'd talk on especially clean energy and transition to be more ESS, but he didn't refer to ESS one bit. So next earnings, make sure there is one of the questions that we pose coming from retail has to be about ESS. So literally we have to ask that. And that should be coming up probably in the next month and a half or 2 months or something. So that's kind of a quick summary of things that you need to know from that. So yeah, it's a crazy, crazy day. About 7 minutes left. I've been ranting quite a lot, and it hasn't really helped or recovered one bit, at least on the stock price. So going over some data points. So this is SoFi, so you guys don't need to look at SoFi right here. And actually what I will do is I'll pull this up, and while that loads, I'll go over options. So 194,000 in calls, 526 in puts. So dollar value wise, very low. But on the flip side, you do see 83% of all the options being done today are optimistic and bullish. And of the call options that are being purchased, you do see consensus for it to be above $3. And then looking at puts, you do see consensus for it to be sub roughly 250. And in my opinion, I think that's more piggybacking off of the Elliott wave technicals, and those aren't really looking all the best, as I kind of brought up previously. Currently with it at $2.66, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So right now, $2.56 is going to be that next strong support. So just watch for that to hold in the next couple days. PPI is coming out tomorrow on a side note. And then as a high, $2.89 is going to be that next strong resistance / target. On the actual chart, today did confirm that it is staying below that 50-day moving average. So again, not the best for that. Stochastic, you do see it very oversold. So if there's a good piece of news that does come out associated to Lucid, then you'll see a rush of value investors. A number of retail investors have been getting out over the last several trading days. So yeah, kind of interesting stuff. Let me know your thoughts, and if you did buy the dip today or if you sold, let me know your thoughts on that. And this did load. So right now shorts are returning 896,000 shares. 28.1% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 249.21 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization 95.99, and then cost to borrow is 25.25%. So this is why I like to analyze this information, because by shorts returning, maybe they are feeling that this sell-off that has happened so far, or I guess it being flat, is unjustified, and that maybe it should be green. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.